Rolling, recording, we're live. What's good? It is Simeon Panda here. If you don't know, now you do. If you're new to my channel, you're in for a treat. I've got loads of stuff. Go check out other videos when I finish this one because there's plenty. I've got home workouts, I've got gym workouts, I've got hardcore, I've got beginners, everything. Anyway, so let's get started with today's video. Today's video is basically, I look around the gym sometimes and I see certain form that is very questionable. Now, I am far from form police. I'm not the type to be like, oh, you got to do this perfect, you got to do that perfect. However, sometimes it is actually dangerous, you know. Sometimes you can see someone using form that they're going to injure themselves. So I have actually approached people in the past, very rarely, and the last time I remember doing it, it's because I literally thought he was going to hurt himself. He was doing rope push downs and they were violent. They shouldn't be violent. It should be a controlled exercise, you know, which I'm going to show you today. But he was doing it very violently, clearly. And I say this in the nicest way. He really didn't have a clue what he was doing, you know. And I'm not the type to shame anyone that's new because, you know, we all start somewhere. But like, he really didn't have a clue. So I approached him, and when I approached him, I said to him, you know, what you're doing. Like, do you mind if I just give you a little tip to show you how to do it correctly? He obliged. I showed him. Now, I don't know, basically when I finished, he left the gym. Now, I don't know if that was because of me or if he was literally finished his workout, but within a minute, I turned around, he'd done one more set and he was out the door. So it's hard sometimes to approach people when they're doing, you know, when using form that is really bad, you know, because you don't want to look like you're arrogant, like someone might see me and think, oh, he thinks he knows it all, and that's why he's approaching me to tell me how to do it. That's not the case at all. You know, I mean, I want the best for everyone, but it's not my business really. But, so it can be hard to approach people about form, but sometimes it really is bad, and hopefully some of you can watch this video. This is for beginners, by the way. It's for beginners because most of the people that use this form, they have to be beginners because there's no way that you could be using the form that I'm seeing and no one else has told you over time. So they have to be beginners. And being that it's January or beginning of the year when you're going to be seeing this video, there's going to be a lot of beginners. So hopefully I can teach you some good form on the basics. So we're only going to choose maybe 5 to 6 exercises, the most common exercises that I see mistakes being made on. Let's go. Okay, so bench press is literally going to be, of all the exercises I show you today, bench press is going to be the one where the ego is most involved. And because of the ego, we're going to want to put as much on the bar as possible. Now, if you haven't got the basic technique right, you're going to end up either injuring yourself or just looking quite silly. So, as I've shown you, you're going to want to make sure you get a full range rep. That means it's not a short thrust, bringing it just above here and thrusting like that. That shows you're not in control. Also, you want a full range, you want the bar to touch your chest. Always remember, in the bench press, the bar needs to touch your chest. If you're not touching your chest, you haven't completed one full rep. You know, so as I showed you in the video, a lot of guys will tend to have the bar up here, bring it down like a quarter of the way and back up. Very short stroke. Or they come from down here, very short strokes. You want a full range rep. Take the weight down. Just practice even with just the bar. All the way up, all the way down. The bar will touch your chest before you come back up. You can even have a slight pause and back up. Slight pause and back up. Full range reps. I've got super long arms, ridiculously long arms. So bench press is even difficult for me because of the range that I have to go. You know, I have to go all the way up like that. It's very, very high. Some people with shorter arms, like it's a very smooth, quick movement to just fully extend it, you know? So that's the first one. Make sure you're doing that. Don't get carried away with your ego and put on weight that you can't fully control all the way down and up without, you know, having to do short strokes. Another thing I will say that I'm not able to show you now because I'm showing you this on my own, but I do want to show you how and when to be spotted on a bench press. I'll probably do a whole video on that, but I'll just quickly say, don't put something on the bar that you really can't handle. Now by that I mean you can put on a weight that challenges you and may require a spot, you know, at the end of the set, so maybe for the last few reps, but you really shouldn't be putting a weight on that you take off and immediately require a spot to help you. That's not your weight, you know? So I will go into more depth about that, but we're gonna move on. Okay guys, one of the biggest mistakes I see is with rope push down. And it's easy to make a mistake on this one because your perception is that I just need to force the weight down by any means possible. And that's not how this exercise is supposed to be done at all. You know, whether you see some of the bigger guys in the gym doing that or not, the correct technique is the correct technique. Now, the reason why I think a lot of beginners make this mistake is because there's this whole thing of wanting to do what you see everyone else doing. Now, by that I mean, I warm up. So I've even had people look at me kind of puzzled when they see me go on a weight and start super light, and then they think to themselves, is that all he does? Is like as big as he is? I warm up with every exercise, whether that's a bench press, whether it's a squat, it's always gonna start with the bar. I just wanna get a feel for it, and then I slowly work my way up. Now, with this exercise, if you're a beginner, warm up. You know, start light. And if you can't get your form correct with it light, then you're not gonna get it when it's heavy. So that means we don't want your elbows flaring out as you come down. We don't want you hunched over. The only reason you're gonna want to hunch over is because it's heavy. You know, there's no reason why, when the weight is light as this, that I can control like this, nice and clean. There's no reason for me to want to lean over. The only reason I'm gonna lean over is if you watch this, we've now gone to the stack. That's the only reason I'm gonna wanna lean over, because it's too heavy, you know? So there should be no reason for you to do that. The other thing you don't wanna do is use your back and shoulders too much, leaning over like that. And just keep it clean, start light. Elbows shoulder width apart, pull it down and up in a controlled fashion. And as you go through the sets, you're gonna aim to just keep that form. Now I'm gonna do another video where I talk about when to break form, which is such a complex subject, but it really isn't and really shouldn't be on your first few sets of this exercise. This exercise should be done, it's gonna be most effective when it's done clean and it's gonna hit your tricep in a great way. Okay guys, squats. With this one, I have been guilty of this in the past. And I'm actually gonna show you some clips of me squatting some heavy weight with form that just was not how it's supposed to be at all. Because I've done this in the past, I know the reasons for it. So you can throw every excuse at me that you can think of, and I'll know whether you're telling the truth or not, because I was guilty of it too, and I've pretty much made some of these excuses myself. One of the worst ones you can hear, and it normally it's completely by ego, it's when you say, it wasn't as deep, I'll get it next time. You're never gonna get it next time. You're not gonna get it next time because that weight's just not your weight. If you can't control it down, then it's not your weight. So it's not about, oh yeah, next time I'll go a bit deeper. It should have been deep regardless. There's no point even doing it if you're gonna do a quarter squat. It doesn't count, it's silly. It could cause you an injury, and it's just silly, you know, it's silly. You don't want to do a quarter squat. A quarter squat's not going to benefit you in any way, shape or form, coming to about here and coming back up. The only reason you're doing that is because you're scared to go to parallel, because you might not come back up. And if you're afraid of that, then that means you need to take the weight down, put just the bar on, and practice with that. Practice a full squat. It will serve you better in the long run. 100% it will serve you better. It will also mean that you get better leg improvements and leg strength. There's no point going through your whole lifting career doing quarter squats, telling yourself that you're doing big weight when you really aren't, you know? So as you've seen in those tips, go below parallel, or at least 2 parallel. That's a full squat. Full squat is here and up. It is not like this, you know? And some of you lead with your back first, so your back's going forward before you've even brought your hips down, you know? I could do a proper whole video on squats. I have done a few, actually. I'm gonna put them on the screen, here, and here, and here, and here. I've done loads of videos on squats. So check those out. But that little tip there, just don't do a quarter squat. Don't be a quarter squatter, okay? Bicep curls is another one that people tend to get wrong. And again, back to the ego thing, we want to lift more than we can, you know, because at the end of the day, if we started off light and made sure that our form was right, we wouldn't make this mistake. But it's because we pick up a weight that really challenges us to the point where we forget our form and then we just try and swing it up. So again, this is for the beginners, the people that are new to gym. You don't want to be doing a short rep. Just like I was saying with a squat, short reps, unless that's what you're actually going for, you should be doing a full range rep, you know? And a full range rep is gonna be down to the bar, almost touching or touching your thighs, and then up to just below your chin. That's a full range rep. This isn't a full range rep. You know, your arms are locked. Your arms are locked. There's a whole friggin', 45 degrees to go, or 90 degrees to go down there, and you're stopping here, stopping short, unless you're doing an exercise called 21s, which you aren't, I know that for sure. If you wanna do 21s, I've got a video, this one here, go check it out, and that'll show you correct technique for 21s, which is where you hit the biceps at different angles, a short range rep, a low range, and then a mid range, and then a full range rep. So go check that video out. But this, we're trying to do full range bicep curls, bottom to top, just like that. Guys, in one of my last videos, I talked about when to cheat, and it was actually on bicep curls, because you can cheat and it can be effective to help you get stronger. But if you're new to training, you really shouldn't be thinking about cheating at all. You know, you want to get the foundations right and you want to get your form perfect. So you really want to get this as a full range. You don't want to swing. I actually showed you guys me using the arm blaster, because a lot of you guys asked what it's for, and this was the perfect opportunity to demonstrate exactly what it's for. It keeps you locked in position and makes sure that your form's perfect and that you get an isolated curl. So if you guys are interested in that, go check it out. I'll put a discount on screen so you can go and copy yourself one of these. But even if you haven't got that, another way to perfect your technique is to actually lean up against the wall. I know this isn't a wall, but if you lean up against the wall, this will keep your back from swinging, because you've got the wall as resistance, and then you just do a strict curl straight up, and that can help you practice doing a correct bicep curl. And then you take yourself away from the wall, keep that form. Okay guys, so that's a crunch basically, and it's no hands behind your neck. Don't do that, because when you come up to the top and you pull forward, you're exerting force on the back of your neck that you really don't need to. As you guys saw, I had my fingers by my ears, and all I was doing was just guiding myself in the motion. All the action should come from here, your abs, your core. You don't want to be pushing your neck. That's not going to help. You're not going to get abs by pushing your neck, you know? So just have your fingers by your ears as a guide. You know, that's an important one that I see done incorrectly quite often. Guys, I hope you learned from these. They're great tips. These are for the beginners, you know, because these are basics. These are just the basics. So hopefully you implement them, and they will actually help you improve your training. You're going to get more progression doing better form than just winging it with like incorrect form, you know? So guys, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends. I've got everything. I've got nutrition, I've got home workouts, gym workouts, I've got everything. Tell your friends. I appreciate you. Peace out.